10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Hello and welcome to Little Blessings Online, your toddler group, wherever you want it and whatever time suits you. My name's Jo and this is
Andy B.
And we're here and we welcome you. Glad you could join us. I've got a drink, I've got some milk today and you've got some...
I'm on Ribena at the moment.
It's fizzy, I can see some bubbles, very
Fizzy
nice.
Ribena.
So please get yourself comfortable as we are and get yourself a nice drink to join us now for Little Blessings Online. Good you could be here. We can't do this without our technical helpers, so please say hello to... Hello, Nathan and Peter. And Peter, you have your favourite toy today. What's that? Stormtrooper. Awesome.
Stormtrooper.
That's awesome. If you're a Star
really
Wars
cool.
fan, you'll get that. That's so cool. I do see that played a lot, actually, in a lot of games. So thank you for that, Peter. So coming up, we have story time.
Yes.
What's the story? Oh, it involves fish. That's all I'm going to tell you. It's very exciting. Andy's going to tell us that story. We've got art, which will actually, what will we make? We will make a fish. And actually, we have a paper plate involved.
Yes.
And lots of colour, actually. And a great song for you to get boogieing to. But first,
so I wonder if you have ever been fishing. I can say with my... I haven't. I haven't been fishing. I know people who fish and who like to fish, but it's not something I do. But I wonder if you've been fishing. Perhaps you've been to the beach, maybe, and you've been in the rocks looking for some crabs or little fish and see what you can find. We're going to look at a little bit later at a story about fishing. But we've got some photos of some fishing going on from around the world. So we're talking about fish, so that's a picture of a fish. Great. So here's fishermen getting the nets ready. I think they're getting it all ready and sorted. So depending on how you fish, you might use a fishing rod, but this is using fishing nets. And then we have a different type of net. So the different size of the little holes dictates what fish you get. So the bigger the hole, the bigger the fish. And here we have some people on the beach doing some fishing, lots of different people, some men and women and children as well. And they're actually bringing in some fish from the beach and pulling it in. Well, today we have another story time. And in today's story time, we're going to be looking at a story of fishing with some expert fishermen who maybe need a little help. So, one day, Jesus is walking along and he sees some boats at the edge of a lake. And in the lake, there's lots of fishing boats, and some of the fishing boats are at the side. And there's a fishing boat not far out to sea. And it was pretty clear they weren't doing a very good job. Now, you've got to understand, these fishermen, they were really good at what they did. They knew the lake, they knew the tides, they knew the fish, they knew how to catch fish. This was their livelihood. It wasn't something they were playing at. This is what they did. If it didn't work, they didn't eat. And they pulled up the nets and they didn't catch any fish. Now, if you're a fisherman and you can't catch any fish, then you might be a little bit embarrassed, and I suspect perhaps that might be one of the things. But can you imagine being in the fishing boat and you're there and you're working and your hands are a bit sore from the nets and you're a bit tired and you just want some food and you've been with your mates and it's a bit smelly and it's all, I just want to get the fish and I want to go home. And they failed. And they pulled up the nets and nothing happened. And then Jesus, who's walking along the beach, says, excuse me, can I make a suggestion? Shall we play Go Fish? Now, this isn't the card game Go Fish. This is actual Go Fish. I would imagine they wouldn't have been particularly polite to Jesus at his suggestion to stick the nets on the other side of the boat. It's not like he said, oh, there's a big school of fish 4 miles that way. No. Stick them on the other side of the boat. And we're not talking about an ocean-going cruise liner, which is a 50 or 100 feet wide, huge, like many cars. This would have been probably a little rowboat. So maybe, that far. Not a huge distance. And Jesus is saying, stick your nets on the other side of the boat. Because they didn't have any fishes. Joe said she was going to pretend to be a fish.
Oh, sorry, I didn't know when to do my fish.
And the sea.
We found the fish yet, though. We haven't...
Well, no, but the fish are there.
So they're in there.
They're just not in the net. So they're pulling up the net and there's nothing there. So Jesus comes along and says, put the fishing net on the other side of the boat. So they chuck the net over and it goes into the water. And the little fishes get stuck in the net. And so I can imagine these fishermen, well, let's humour him, shall we? Maybe we'll get some money out of it. So Jesus says, put the net on the other side. It goes into the water and they start to pull the net up. And you can imagine the kind of comments of, waste of time that was. Let's see what happens. And as they start to pull the fishing net up, they start to realise they can't pull the net up. Why is this? Maybe it's snagged on something. It must be that. It can't be the fish because there was no fish on the boat. And then they start to pull a bit more, and they start to see little flap.
Oh, sorry,
fish
fishy.
on the water top.
Just flapping like that. A flap.
What's a flap? Yeah. Anyway.
Flapping.
So the fish, and they realise there's lots of fish in the net, and they're trying to pull, and they can't do it. So then they have to swallow the pride and say, lads. Other boats, could you come and get down because we're a bit stuck. So all the other fishing boats go back out to the lake, and they help along and they pull these nets in. The boats are almost going into the water. They're using all their strength. The nets are starting to break, and there's so many fish in this net that it's ridiculous because Jesus said stick your net on the other side of the boat.
Wow.
So it's a good idea to do what Jesus asks us to do. That's always a good thing. And in this occasion, the fishermen realise, actually, do you know what? We just need to put our nets on the other side.
Amazing.
And it's good to do what people can suggest. Sometimes somebody else has got a better perspective than we have.
Yeah, wow.
There you go.
That's incredible. I mean, these guys, like Andy said, are experienced fishermen and they've been out for a long time. And then to find some on the other side is an amazing, amazing story. So now it's art time and we're going to get an opportunity to make a fish, a really lovely, colourful fish. Hope you enjoy it. For art time today, we're going to make a lovely colourful fish. And as you can see here, I use coloured paper or you can use tissue paper. So you'll need a paper plate, scissors, a black marker, some glue and some cut up pieces of paper or paper tissue. And you start here. I love this one because it's really simple. You start with the paper plate as though you were going to have food on it this way round. And you simply cut a big mouth, cut right into the centre, nice big mouth, meet up at the middle, as you can, like that. And then no wastage here because that now becomes the tail and you stick that on the end. And what I suggest now is you do the eye first before you decorate. Now obviously I'm going to draw an eye on, but if you've got those stick-on eyes, then you could put one of those on. And so what you want to do then is glue all the way over with your stick. I've done that earlier, just to glue all over, and then have fun sticking on your bits of paper like this. I've just had some yellow and red pieces lying around, so whatever you've got at home you can stick on and decorate this fish the way you want to. And the bigger the pieces, obviously the quicker it covers the fish. So with this one I did smaller pieces, it took a lot longer. So you can just do big blobs of tissue paper and it soon covers up the fish and looks really pretty. And I'll just do his tail. See, I only need a few squares there. I think I'll have a red. And then he's done. There we are. Oh, I think I've missed a bit just there. There we go. Enjoy.
I hope you enjoy making that fish because that's really, really cool. And you can use all sorts of stuff. Joe's got tissue paper. You could use bits of card. You could cut stuff out of a magazine or a newspaper and make your fish. Or you could paint it. Maybe you're an artiste. I don't know, pastels, oil. I don't know. I don't do painting. Can you tell? So next we're going to have time for song time. And today's song time, we were thinking about the fishermen on the boat not being able to fish and going fishing and getting some fish. And if Jesus did something that meant you could eat that night and for the next week, you'd probably sing this song too. Jesus' love is very wonderful. 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 Oh, a wonderful love. Jesus' love. Jesus' love is very wonderful. Jesus' love so high, so high. You can't get over it, so low. You can't get under it, so wide. You can't get round it. Oh, wonderful love, Jesus love. Jesus love is very wonderful. Jesus love is very wonderful. Jesus love is very wonderful. Oh, wonderful love, Jesus love. Jesus love is very wonderful. Jesus love is very wonderful. Jesus love is oh wonderful. Oh, wonderful love. And what you don't get to see is Jojo boogieing along to the song, which is quite cool. So that brings us to the end of another session. This is our 4th episode of our 3rd series, which we're really enjoying. I hope you are too. Thank you for joining us today. And all the arts. I hope you have fun making a paper plate fish or enjoying going back through the story of the fishing on the other side. Jojo.
Oh, before we go then, just love to invite you to our daily prayers. We as a family pray together at 1 o'clock every day, Monday to Friday, weekdays, for what, 15 minutes, 20 minutes at the most?
15 tops.
Yeah, and we just, all sorts of things. Pray for our government, pray for things that are going on in the world, and if you've got any prayer requests, yeah, please do send them in. Prayer is really important. It changes everything, so we'd love you to join us for that. So it's bye for now. We'll see you next time.
Stay up to date with the Berry Bunch. You can find us online at www.berrybunch.family. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and of course Ding Dash.